Well, a very good afternoon to you. Thanks for clicking on to this long-range discussion for this afternoon. I'm quite busy this afternoon, actually trying to work out. I've got a new phone and I'm just trying to get things sorted out. So I apologise for the lack of Facebook, Twitter, and even the blog as well has been a wee bit neglected this afternoon. I'm going to try and catch up with that. But we've got plenty of things happening, folks. We've got that cold air starting to show itself, draining from the polar vortex itself. That main abnormally strong polar vortex, of course, resulting in that very positive Arctic oscillation, starts to show the negative side of things. And as it does so, the concern becomes apparent, becomes real. The fact that the potential for such extreme cold spilling down into the mid-latitudes is appearing to show itself in reality, where the European model is showing a very, very powerful shot of Arctic air drifting down through Mongolia, China, through the Koreas and into Japan by later this week and into early next week. So ahead of that, as that front pushes through, very strong cold front, of course, bear in mind just how powerful that cold air is on the backside of that front. That will set off, of course, some major snowfall, blizzards, crippling snowstorms, potential record breakers, and if not, certainly the biggest snowfalls they've maybe seen in years across this part of the world. That is the signs of a bigger scale change, I believe. The United States seeing a shot of very cold weather this week. That will indeed erase itself at the end of the week, but it's as that does so, as that cold air starts to ease off the eastern part of North America, we've got a very powerful shot of Arctic air dropping out of the pole and into eastern parts of Asia. And I think it's a sign that the Arctic oscillation is flipping negative, and the signs are there, folks, as to just how bad it can be when you've got a positive Arctic oscillation for so long, staying the same, and therefore when it does eventually flip, you've got big problems because that Arctic air is very, very charged up, very potent, and of course we are going to see some very cold weather over the course of next week in this part of the world. As for the United States, we are going to be seeing colder times as well through Canada. Canada is going to see a cross-polar flow eventually start to, as basically the very, very cold air that's over Asia will eventually flip, and it will cross over the pole and drain into Canada. Canada, perhaps in about 2 weeks from now, 10 days to about 14 days, is going to fill with brutally cold air. And I think that's part two of what things are going to happen. And once it does so, and it fills into the United States, into the northwest first, cross down into the plain states, through the Midwest, and eventually potentially to the east. As that does so, folks, that is my concern for very, very cold weather starting to show its hand over parts of Central Europe and eventually over to us. And at that stage, I'm kind of thinking along the lines of the NAO, the North Atlantic Oscillation, going negative. And as it does so, that will then direct this cold air, this, of course, spilling, being allowed to spill out of the Arctic because of that Arctic Oscillation flipping negative. Of course, that opens the door to the mid-latitudes for this air to go to. But the key for us, folks, is that NAO needs to go negative to therefore hold that cold air in place as we build that ridge of high pressure over the North Atlantic. That means we should be then looking at this very, very frigid air over towards the UK by about, probably around the 15th through the 18th, 20th of January. I think that's when we're going to start to feel the effects of this pattern, and that might last for the remainder of the winter season. Who knows? We still have a lot of things to look at yet. Things do need to continue changing in order for us to see this yet. If that NAO doesn't go negative, then to be honest with you, I don't really see much in the sense of anything substantial for later on this year. But certainly the ensemble run, first time I've seen that showing a pretty confident negative flip within the next 10 days or so. And I think if it does continue to be the case, we have a very interesting mid to late part of January to come. So thanks for watching. Hope this managed to get on my blog, Facebook, etc. And stay tuned. I'll keep you up to date. Bye-bye.